Miranda Sings was one of the OG YouTubers in the early 2010s. When I was like 11 to 14 age range, this was like the YouTuber to follow. I never understood the appeal. Basically, she has this character she plays called Miranda. Her real name is Colleen Ballinger. And her character wears like this overlined red lipstick and has this stupid voice that she uses. I actually heard now that she has based that character off of a mentally disabled person in her family, which is really suspect. But anyway, she is under fire right now because she has been accused of having some creepy, grooming, parasocial relationships with her underage fans.
We have a $20 super chat there from Deuce Boogaloo.
He said the only unforgivable sins in Hollywood are slights against black people and the alphabet community and supporting Trump or DeSantis. Also, did you see Rolling Stone is blaming the Call of Duty boycott on Gamergate?
Dude, they
LOL.
love Gamergate. The media loves Gamergate.
What's the Call of Duty boycott
That's
situation?
the stuff with Nick Merckx and Tim Tatman, where they like Nick Merckx basically had a tweet that said leave the kids alone over like an incident that happened outside of some school board meeting. That had to do with the LGBTQI plus community, and Call of Duty.
Well, how dare he?
Call of Duty pulled his skin in the game, and then Tim the Tatman, who's a friend,
his literal skin in the game.
Yeah, well, you know, what I'm saying, like his character skin. And then after that, Tim Tatman said, like, look, me and him came up together. It doesn't feel right me having mine and him not having his, so he asked them to pull his.
Oh.
And yeah, and so
did you guys cover this while I was
we did.
gone? Okay,
we talked about it a little bit. So. It was crazy because all of these boycotts keep going on, and I used to be like, I'm not pro boycott all like for myself. Like, look, if I need something from Target, I'm gonna go to Target. But I'm seeing a lot of good come from the people that are sticking by these things, right? So.
Well, the question of boycotting a mega corporation like Target is a lot bigger of an ask for people than an individual product or brand.
Yes. So, but I guess like Bud Light is no longer the best-selling beer in America, which is crazy. So,
but is another Anheuser-Busch beer?
That's not even what bothers me because I understand like InBev probably owns both the top-selling beers. I don't know, but I do know this. I do know that it's insane to think that if you've been the best-selling beer for this many decades, why did you think you needed to change your marketing strategy anyways?
Because they hired an insane academic.
Yes.
Awful.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Miranda Sings.
So Miranda Sings, yes, she has been accused of having creepy parasocial relationships with her kid fans. They are mostly kids because her content is mindless garbage. No, like... I'm not gonna like.
It's like us, but
sugarcoat it. It's
like us,
bad.
but creepy.
Yeah, and she's kind of pivoted into her using her real personality online anyway. But yeah, back in the early 2010s, she had a group chat with many of her young fans called Colleen's Weenies, and they were mostly aged 13 to 17. And specifically, one of her fans named Adam McIntyre has made a bunch of videos exposing what was really going on in those group chats. And he showed messages that were really disturbing. One, he said she asked her underage fans if they were virgins. And
why are you doing that, lady?
Asked favorite position. And also, he said that she overshared to him on a personal level in individual messages. And I think, like, this all happened when he was between 13 and 16, when she was over 30.
This is a symptom of people considering women to not be predators.
She overshared to him about details of her marriage and her marital problems, her sex life with her husband, her divorce, stuff that you should not be oversharing with any of your fans, let alone
pay a therapist,
children,
lady,
who idolize you.
Pay a therapist.
Right, exactly. Like, go to therapy or have an adult friend that you talk to about this stuff. It's like absolutely disgusting. So another thing that was exposed from Colleen's Weenies is
that I can't believe you can say that name with a straight face.
She asked this fan, Adam McIntyre, for ass pics when he was like 15 years old, and just had a relationship with him on an individual level that's just not normal. I don't think any over 30 person should be friends with someone between the ages of 13 and 15. That's just, it doesn't seem right to me. It doesn't seem like an actual friendship. It seems like you're using this person. She also used him as a social media intern, unpaid.
So she's cheap too.
And then blamed him when he posted jokes that were considered insensitive and homophobic.
Thank you. This is cleansing my palate here.
Despite him being gay himself. She sent this particular fan as well lingerie in the mail.
Dude, it just keeps getting worse.
Yeah, when he was 14 years old. His parents saw this and confiscated it.
That interaction
Thankfully.
must have been ridiculous. Like, no, you cannot have the 30-year-old lady's lingerie.
And actually, he showed this evidence. Like, he still has it. So we know that she did this, which is just like...
It's even weirder the parents like give it to him when
This
he's
is
18.
pedo behavior.
Yeah.
This is pedo behavior. I don't care if you think it's an inside joke. You can't have a joke like that with an underage person. That's disgusting. Another video that he posted from this group chat was her putting a tampon in her mouth and encouraging the other members of the chat to send videos doing the same. How about we show that one?
Yep. Let's. Which one are we showing first?
The tampon video.
Okay. Here we go.
And then she also had fans show up to her meet and greets doing the same thing with tampons in their mouth. Yeah. Why? I don't understand.
Look, I know that I am very blessed to have a very good job, but some days, dude, I'm not working manual labor. I've got it very easy in terms of like what I have to do physically at work. But speaking of that, stuff like this just kind of makes me like a little bit ill.
And let's also play the clip from her live stream where she was telling this fan she would send him lingerie.
How old again?
He was like 14 or something.
You laugh. I want to send him something. Do you want the bra, Adam?
Do you want the bra and panties? Tweet right now.
I'm sending him something. Okay, maybe he'll want the panties. Although then his parents will be like, "You're not allowed to watch who's sending you panties." Even mom, don't worry. I watched a boy wear them online first. You laugh. I want to send him something. Do you want the?
So yeah, that was in broad daylight, and nobody has brought it up until he first made a video in 2020. For some reason, back then, people defended her. She made an empty apology video.
She's like, "I'm so
basically
sorry."
Being like, "I don't know. I send weird stuff to my fans all the time. I didn't think this was any different."
You didn't send him a cup. You didn't send him like some type of like a roll of I don't know.
Well,
dude.
she also just the other week she said she sent one of her fans a piece of toilet paper. Hopefully
I was literally
unused.
just going to say like a roll of toilet paper.
Yeah, she literally has done that, and it's like that's just unfunny. Like your sense of humor sucks, and you're a creep. And also she does live shows for her fans who are mostly children, where she routinely does embarrassing and like sexually themed skits with these kids. How about we show the little boy reaching in her pants skit?
Oh gosh, I thought we were done. Okay, here we go.
The reach in my pants little boy for some cheese balls joke.
That's hilarious!
There's a lot
Yeah.
of content that you won't find on YouTube or anywhere else unless you attend one of Miranda's live shows. One of the most inappropriate comedy skits we have seen is from audience members recording her cheeseball skit without her knowledge. Miranda starts off this skit on how to go on a date, which is already an unnecessary lesson to be teaching to children since they're obviously way too young for that kind of activity. She has a boy accompany her on stage who is, I'd say, maybe 10 years old. She plays out the scene where she's leading her date into the woods so that they can be alone and proceeds to tell her date that you should always pack a snack because a girl loves to eat.
Next thing you need to do, always remember, boys, pack a snack because a girl loves to eat. Am I right?
She turns to the 10-year-old boy and tells him, I know you didn't pack a snack, but that's okay. I packed a snack for both of us, so wait right here. I'll go get it.
I know you didn't pack a snack. It's okay. I packed a snack for both of us. Wait right there. I'll go get it. This is the number one thing you can do on a date is eat a snack. Now, I packed my favorite snack, which is, of course, cheese balls.
This is the part where things really start to go off the rails because Miranda comes back with her favorite snack, cheese balls, and tells the audience, you can't just flail your cheese balls around because there are bears out there, so of course you need to hide your cheese balls.
You can't just flail around the cheese balls when you're on a date in the woods because there are bears out there and they will try to eat your cheese balls.
At which she then proceeds to stuff the bag of cheese balls into her pants. She then announces, now my cheese balls are hidden from the bears, except for this bear right here.
So you have to hide your cheese balls. So for example, now my cheese balls are hidden from the bears, okay? Except for this bear right here.
Implying that her 10-year-old guest on stage is a bear after her you-know-what. Then she asks the audience, want a cheese ball? Directing her pelvis towards them.
Wait a minute. Want a cheese ball?
Mind you, these are mostly very, very young kids in the audience who she's asking if they want to reach into her pants for cheese balls. Not to mention their own parents accompanied with them hearing these jokes. She then proceeds to make her guests feel very uncomfortable and directly asks him the inappropriate question if he wants a cheese ball. They then cut the scene early by having Josh interrupt and Miranda responds with, it's not what it looks like. At face value, this comedy skit...
Okay. And keep in mind, there are parents of these children in the audience, obviously, cheering it on. And we talk about, like, people taking their kids to drag shows and how this is grooming. I would say, like, I'm not going to put a double standard over it. Like, this is also a form of grooming. Yeah. Because you're making a sexual innuendo to the adults in the audience that the children don't understand and asking them to participate in it. And there are other examples of this as well. Like one time she had a little girl on stage and did a skit with her where she pretended, like gave this girl a script where she had to pretend to be giving birth. And then she came out from up under this girl's, like in between her legs. Like it's very inappropriate, obviously. And there are other examples of this stuff as well you can look into for yourself. We have one from Brandolph the Strange. Hey, yep. Brett and Mary, longtime fan of the show. With companies recognizing how unprofitable and downright disgusting woke or gender ideologies are, do you think these major companies would help with the cultural shift?
I don't know if I buy that these companies look at it that way. I don't think they see it as unprofitable, and until we can remove the idea that these companies have ESG funding, whether we're talking about through loans or your credit score through the company, like I just don't buy it. Like I think this will keep happening. I was talking to someone recently because I pointed out, I said, like, look, Warner Brothers has a higher ESG score than Disney. Which is hard to believe, but it starts not necessarily in the products. Like it doesn't start with a Bud Light beer can or a character in a movie. It starts in your HR departments, and until you clear out these HR departments, this stuff will continue happening. And it will just get repackaged in various methods. I don't think that these major companies are going to make any shifts anytime soon. That's my personal opinion, but I could be wrong.
I don't think that Bud Light partners with Dylan Mulvaney. Or Target makes a Pride collection because they think like this is gonna sell big with the young folks. Yeah. They know that it doesn't sell. This is just what they believe, and they're using the products to further their
I don't believe the companies believe it. I think the companies just want whatever's going to get them the best press. And right now the press gives them this.
Think about the marketing VP of Bud Light. She's making these decisions because it's what she personally believes. These are her personal convictions. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is just a scratch on the surface of what Miranda Sings has been doing with her fans on every level. This is something that these kids should have been shielded from by their parents, but it seems like not only did these parents not care, they openly endorsed their kids supporting this person and interacting with them. There's also new evidence that her brother, Trent Ballinger, has had inappropriate relationships with her underage fans who were using communication with him to get closer to her because they idolized her. he was like messaging a girl who was only like 13 or 14 and saying like, you look like my ex-girlfriend or whatever. Like, just things that you should never, I mean, you shouldn't be talking to a 13-year-old in the first place, but especially in that context, other than being like, thanks for the support, you know?
This is the crazy part of the internet, right? Like, I don't know if people actually contemplate just how, like, think about, like, if you're, like, what's his name? What's the guy's name? Trent?
You mean Trent Ballinger?
Yeah. Imagine Trent saying that to some kid at a playground.
Right.
It's insane, and you're going to be stopped by people, and they're gonna be like, why are you talking to this person who's not, that you don't know? Like, that's not a thing, right? That's just messed up, and people don't realize that thanks to the internet, these things are becoming more and more prevalent.
Yeah, so I think Adam McIntyre, when he first put out these allegations in 2020, was holding back a lot of information, but now that he's putting more of it out there, especially about this group chat, there's not really a rebuttal or an apology that would make sense for her to put out there. Like, there's no excuse for any of this. And especially now that we're having conversations about like celebrities or internet stars grooming kids, it's a bad look. It
does feel to me a little bit, and I don't mean to make this a gendered issue, like it's crazy that she felt like it was okay. Go ahead.
Gordon Shumway. He said, this Miranda video is really creepy. Reminds me of Pee-wee's Playhouse back in the day. There were a lot of adult jokes that were innuendos that you didn't notice until you're older. I'm glad people are finally calling it out.
I mean, like, look, the jokes are bad enough. It's the interaction with the kid.
It's the fact that you're bringing him on stage. Yeah. And this is something she toured around the country doing to hundreds of kids.
Yep.
Like, either decide that you're family friendly or make it very clear that this character you play was never meant to be family friendly in the first place, but don't toe the line there.
Be a bad kitty mama says that's why we shouldn't trust hold on, it's just gonna move there. It's why we shouldn't trust adults who make content for kids. 99% of the time they're creeps. Like, I don't know about,
or they're just trying to scam you out of your money by selling merch.
Yeah, I don't know about 99% of the time. Obviously that's just a figure of speech, but I don't know what the numbers are. But I'll tell you this, every time an article comes up about Mr. Rogers and it's not that he's a creep, I breathe a little bit of sigh of relief that I'm like, oh, thank gosh.
Can there be one good guy?
Like him and Bob Ross. Like, let's just make sure that Bob Ross and Mr. Rogers, like, look, as a fellow cardigan wearer, I don't want to find out that Mr. Rogers was a creep. Okay, I don't. And I do think, and I don't know if this is necessarily true, but I feel like most of the men on the internet today wouldn't even dare, we'll get to that, like, we wouldn't even dare try to have those types of interactions so brazenly with underage fans. It just feels like she doesn't believe there's going to be consequences because society refuses to look at women as if they can be any type of predator.
This one from Trucker and Taurus says, shameless plug, Yingling is a sponsor of an all-ages drag show. This is unacceptable. Go to timcast.com and sign up to join us on Discord in our efforts to put an end to this. Welcome back, Mary.
Yeah,
I heard about that.
Like, I wonder if now it's like, here's the thing, like, the crazy thing about the boycotts is, like, you really do now have to go down a rabbit hole every time you want to support a product.
Well, the stream of blackpilling happenings just never ends.
Yeah. It's like,
but like, clearly this has been going on for a longer time than we realize.
I love supporting me some Jeff Bezos because he's just a ruthless capitalist, and like, I don't know what he believes, and I don't want to know what he believes. I just want him to marry his weird sex bot fiance and go out on his yachts and take his HGH to get buff, and just don't ruin it, because there's so many things I like to buy on Amazon.
There's one more thing I'm dying to find out about from this Miranda Sings situation. It seems like she pulled a little bit of an Amber Heard, and her donations to child cancer charities have some shady. It's a little bit shady, so I'm waiting for more information about that. But yeah, overall, this is just a despicable person.
So does she live stream on YouTube?
She's she's mainly a YouTuber.
Okay, so they're like, what, kids with their parents' credit cards that like super chat her?
No, she doesn't live stream.
Okay, she doesn't live stream, just videos.
Well, she did live streams. This is when she was offering him the lingerie or whatever, but that was years ago before TikTok was ever a thing.
Yeah,
protect your kids from YouTubers and like be suspicious of anyone who's trying to court an audience of kids.
We had a conversation
it's almost
recently.
always sinister.
We had a conversation recently where we were talking about swearing on this show, and we were saying, and I mentioned that Tim talks about it too. Like, some people watch IRL with their kids, some people will watch this show with their kids, and that's with their parents, right? This is not something I wouldn't, first of all, if I was a kid, I wouldn't find much of this very interesting, right? Like, is this really all that interesting to somebody who's doesn't care about the news, especially entertainment news? Like, it's not supposed to be like for kids. Like, it's like we cuss every so often, and the stuff we talk about is certainly not stuff that kids really should be hearing about a lot of the time, unless they have a parent who can put these things into context.
But ultimately, that's up to the parents, and that's their decision. But clearly, all of these fans of Miranda Sings were just like browsing the internet unsupervised, which is never a good idea. And the new generation of parents is realizing that. I hope, especially Gen Z parents.
Bad Kidding Mama says, kids like movies and superheroes. Yeah, but do they like Ezra Miller? I don't want them to like Ezra Miller. That's the thing. I don't want them to like these people. If like, you should not put any of these celebrities on a pedestal. Any of them.
I can't imagine being such a diehard supporter of Miranda Sings that like now some of these people are trying to SWAT Adam McIntyre's apartment.
It's insane.
And he's had to like file a police report about it. And imagine like explaining this situation that's gone on for over a decade. He's 20 years old now, and he started being a fan of this person at 11. Imagine explaining that situation to the cops over the phone. Like, it's just like so absurd, and it's incredibly blackpilling that these kids are still like, the new generation of kids is still on the internet without supervision. And
there's no way to stop it. Realistically,
there's
there's no way to stop it. Like, it's like there's like the line in the show House. He goes, "Why do these adult websites have these disclaimers?" He's like, even a 17-year-old can figure out how to hit "Yes, I am 18."
Well, yeah,
like, it's
even a 9-year-old can.
Yep.
It's unfortunate.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.